RO09007. Mr. Sutton, your ticket was issued for improper passing back on the 26th of November, 8:29 in the morning, southbound I-75 near Lincoln. You've got three options in this matter. You can admit or deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
With those choices, it would be admit with explanation.
Yeah, and what is your explanation, please?
It would be kind of hard to like explain it. Is there any way that I could flip my camera around and show you? Hold on 1 second. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. All right. So this is 11 Mile. This is the on ramp. This is me. Basically, when I got on the on ramp, you got cars that were cutting across the two lines, cutting in traffic. Then I saw a cop car and a car in front of it, which I thought the dude was broke down and he was just sitting there waiting, because, how sometimes the officers sit there while cars are broke down, because whatever. So I come up and like I gently just kind of went around him because the on ramp was clear to go on, and I was going to 696 westbound, so I would have stayed in his lane. And apparently he didn't like that, and he came after me.
Well, you drove on the shoulder, did you not?
Like a foot, not even.
So you drove on the shoulder then?
Like barely.
Barely, slightly, completely. It's all the same. You drove on the shoulder and violated MCL 257.6372, which specifically states that the driver of a vehicle shall not overtake and pass another vehicle upon the right by driving off the pavement or main traveled portion of the roadway. So by legal definition, you violated this law and committed a civil infraction.
Like I said, you have all these cars cutting across the lane. I thought it was a broke down situation because you got cars cutting across double lines into traffic behind him, and it was wide open in front of him. So at first I thought that was a situation between them two cars, the officer and the other car. And like I said, I come up the ramp, I was sitting there, then I was like, okay, is this guy broke down or what? And no one was moving, so I needed to go straight. And that's kind of what I did. I mean, obviously, an officer sitting there, I ain't going to be like, hey, let me break the law in front of him. But that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what happened. You simply can't drive on a shoulder.
Right, but driving on the shoulder, 4 tires, that's one thing.
Driving on the shoulder is one thing, and that's the only one thing. It doesn't matter if there's 1 tire or 4. You can't drive on the shoulder.
Okay, but how can you have other cars crossing double lines then?
Sometimes you have to wait.
Explain that.
I can explain that this is your third ticket in a year.
Where that has nothing to do with improper lane change. Even the officer car was across the line, so he was improper to begin with. So how was
Mr. Sutton, are you admitting or denying?
I told you that,
and I understood that you said yes. You admitted responsibility. You rightly admitted responsibility. The fine is $130. It can be paid online, by mail, or you can pay it at the courthouse counter.
And what's the points on this?
That's between you and the Secretary of State. The court doesn't give the points.
I can tell you. I revoke I'm not guilty. I'm plain, man.
Good luck with that, especially since you just admitted to the infraction both verbally and with your 3rd grade art display.
Because the cop was over 2 lines. He was between these 2 yellow lines. And why? Because there's 2 lines you ain't supposed to cross when you get on the on-ramp. People are already crossing it. I told the officer when I got out, look at all these people cutting across. How am I supposed to know what you guys are doing? And he, like the officer said, you are responsible for your own actions. Exactly. I safely cruised around him. I didn't fly around him. I did like 2 miles per hour, just creeped around him, thinking that car in front of him was broken down.
If you want the hearing, you'll have to stop talking so we can start it. Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
The officer will testify first.
All right, thank you, Magistrate. On November 26th, approximately 8:29 in the morning, I was in unmarked car 805. I was dispatched to a call on westbound 696 as there was a heavy traffic backup due to large spill of dirt, probably from some sort of commercial grade vehicle. Traffic because of this was incredibly backed up on southbound I-75. I was on the on-ramp from southbound Stevenson, which is essentially, it's considered the 11-mile on-ramp, but it's the start of the on-ramp basically starts just now north of 4th. And I was fully within my lane. There was cars in front of me trying to merge over into the stop lane of traffic. Prior to the construction, that on-ramp lane continued as one continuous lane to 696. However, since everything's been constructed and redone, it no longer does that. It merges onto actual lanes of traffic and does not continue as one continuous lane. I was waiting for my traffic to clear so that I could continue forward and also merge over. While I'm waiting, the vehicle driven by Mr. Sutton, which was a 2013 black Jeep Grand Cherokee, drove past me almost completely on the shoulder, not by just a couple of feet, but almost completely. If I am allowed to admit into evidence, I would like to admit my dash camera video into evidence to further support my testimony.
Okay, can you play that now?
Yes. Give me one moment to get everything pulled up.
I really enjoy when there's body cam footage to go along with these hearings. It ties together everything being said with actual video evidence to support one side or another. So let's do it.
Are you able to see it?
Yes.
Okay. Magistrate, would you like to see that again?
Please.
Magistrate, further, I would like to add in testimony that I had no rear lights on to indicate that I was behind any traffic that was disabled or anything. As my video clearly shows, I was within my lane of traffic, merely waiting for vehicles that, again, were within their lane, attempting to merge over into a merged lane into basically what was equivalent of stopped traffic in southbound I-75. Let me pull up this again. All right, can you see me again?
Yes.
Share. Okay. All right. I have no further to add.
Mr. Sutton, you saw the film?
Yeah, and I'm assuming that's sped up, by the way, because the officer
Did you
was
see
sitting
the
there for a
film,
good
sir?
minute. Yes, I see the film, but
Did you
as
see
I
the
asked,
vehicle
is it
on
sped up?
Did you see the vehicle on the ramp?
The
Did you
vehicle
see
that was in front of him, yes.
You had told me that you only had one wheel over on the shoulder.
That's what it looked like to me
Well,
when I went
did you
around
see?
him.
Did you just see the video that showed all your entire vehicle driving down the shoulder?
Yes, I did. But as I said, he was sitting there with no lights on, no nothing. Is that video sped up? Because I waited for a good minute before he even moved.
Mr. Sutton, your testimony
Then,
isn't true.
what do
The
you mean? Is
picture
it
shows you
true?
drove through on the shoulder. You had said
I never said I
repeatedly-
didn't.
Yes, you
I
did. You
never
said
said
you
I
only had
didn't drive
one
on the
tire
shoulder.
kind of on it.
I said I was a couple foot over the line with the right
We're in
side.
a couple feet. It was the entire vehicle. Pay your ticket. We're done.
Mhm.
Man.
Real quick, does he have his back view? Because I would love to see that. So you can
You know,
see
I
what
would
I was
just
seeing.
like to have you stop talking.
No.
Yes, unless you're interested in adding criminal contempt On to your civil infraction. Now I'm finding out that Judge Chisholm is actually awesome to watch, because when he's done with you, he's done. And he'll boot you from the meeting, whether to protect you from your contemptuous outbursts or just to stop all of our ears from bleeding. Now that being said, he did have a funny back and forth with the officer following the defendant's departure.
I don't need a back view. You can tell from the front exactly where I am and exactly how I am. You don't get to just drive around people. He doesn't get it. He didn't get it there. He doesn't get it now. That video doesn't make it any more clear.
It couldn't be any more clear. Back, we don't need it. He repeatedly said, just one tire, a couple feet. And not only that, the rate at which he drove past you could have given rise to another ticket.
If that was sped up, then like you can clearly see, you can see the timestamp right on it. Everything is going at exactly the same time.
Real time.
Yes. There's no change whatsoever in that.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, I figured you'd like it.
Yeah.
I think if you would have actually played the YouTube back to him of him repeatedly saying, I just had one tire, he still would have denied that too,
Yes.
for sure.
I love these dash cameras. I love these body cameras. I have nothing to hide. They are a phenomenal tool. They only make my job easier and they only back up my credibility.
Say for him. People can make an allegation and it's hard to unring the bell. When you've got it on film, there was a case not so long ago about an allegation of a prisoner in the back of a vehicle said that police officers stopped when they were bringing her to the station and committed all kinds of nefarious acts on her. They had the film timed, and it showed her the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And the allegations that she made against those two men were criminal acts.
Yes.
And could have resulted in them going to prison.
Mm-hmm. I sure hope she was charged because all too often I find administrators not willing to charge for false report.
That's a felony.
Yes, it is.
Agreed. And I'm glad that body cams are being utilized across most of the country to either exonerate or hold accountable our public servants. Now we move on to our next case, which is a Karen who puts her weed habit above everything else, including her freedom.
Next matter is the State of Michigan versus Dawn Crow. It's file 23-42445-SM, also set for a probation violation today. We have Ms. Crow with us. All right, I do see Ms. Crow. Ms. Crow, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. Excuse me. You are charged with a probation violation. The allegation made against you is that you were non-compliant with your probation in that you failed to complete the retail fraud class, the work camp days, to report for the month of July, pay fines and costs and test as required. You have previously had a technical violation back in May in that you failed to complete the economic crime class, 3 work camp days, and pay your fines and costs, and your probation was extended. The recommendation for today is that you extend probation 3 more months, do community service in place of the work camp due to moving downstate. Do you understand the nature of the allegation made against you?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the recommendation?
Yes, sir.
How do you want to resolve this matter?
I would like her to extend my probation just because I did move downstate. I do have a job, so I'm trying to pay everything off. I actually am sitting in the hospital right now. I had to have emergency surgery last night.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But I did move down here so I could at least work and try to pay everything off.
All right, the recommendation is not only that you pay stuff off, but that you do some community service work instead of the work camp days. So the work camp is typically here in Otsego County. Community service work could be at a nonprofit or a community service organization where you're living at, but it would
Okay.
need to be additional things to be done. Are you gonna be able to do that down there?
Yes, sir. There's actually a Salvation Army and a Goodwill down here that I could definitely volunteer at.
All right, you're gonna need to talk about that with your probation officer ahead of time.
Now, sir, do I still have to drug test because there's no like this substance abuse issue with my case at all?
Ms. Hill, what is your thought?
Your Honor, I leave that up to you. Ms. Crow has not done well on probation at all. She's not calling the testing line. She hasn't tested. The only reason she's getting another chance right now is because she called me, said she got a job and that she's doing better. This is her last shot. Her next time that she comes before you, I'm requesting jail.
Can I respond to that, Your Honor?
Yep.
I have been calling the testing line. I have been doing the testing line online every day. The reason why I have not been able to test is because it's $45 every time I test, and I owe the testing facilities almost $120. I'm not made of money. I pay my child support $300 a month. I have a $260 car payment and a $120 insurance payment. I am trying to get a place of my own, which is another $900. I'm not made of money. I do not have the money to test.
Well, if you don't have money to take responsibility for your criminal actions, then maybe don't commit a crime. And even if you do have the money, don't be a piece of shit thief.
But I have been calling the testing line. And on reporting this month, the reason why I missed reporting is because I was at work. I have been working my tail off. I called to report when I realized that I missed it.
Okay, Ms. Crow, who made you do the retail fraud third degree?
Nobody made me do it, Your Honor.
So you got yourself in this mess, right?
You're right. I was retarded.
Agreed.
I should have known. I should have put it back. It was a big mistake. I have never stole anything else in my entire life.
Okay.
And I
so,
never will.
And good. I'm glad to hear that. As a result of that, Judge Cooper, back in October of last year, gave you a court order, which was to do certain things.
He did. I understand.
You've not done those things. And so it's a little hard for me to understand why I should take things off of your plate that the judge ordered when you haven't done them.
I understand that, but
I understand that life is hard sometimes and life is expensive sometimes.
But why am I being drug tested when there's no substance issue with my case whatsoever?
What kind of a store did you go into to steal from?
It was a sex shop, and I stole fuzzy handcuffs.
It says the Fantasy's smoke shop.
It was a sex store, Your Honor. The smoke shop is a porn store.
I wasn't the one who sentenced you, so I can't tell you why the judge put that in place. All I can tell you is the judge did put it in place, and you've not been doing it.
Because, Your Honor, she will violate me. I admit I smoke marijuana for my autism. It is the only medication I am on, and I told her this. And
so what doctor prescribed marijuana for autism?
It's not prescribed, it's recreational. It's the only thing that helps.
How do you know that?
Because I've been on multiple medications, Your Honor. I have been on almost every ADHD medication that is known to man. I was a guinea pig for a very long time. When I take 2 hits, I can finally feel normal. I can function.
Now you can feel stoned is what you can feel.
Your Honor, it's not like that. It's recreational for me. I don't do it all the time.
Do you understand what recreational means?
It's because I don't have a medical card. That's why it's recreational. If I had a medical card, it'd be medicine.
You're
It's
telling me
my
you're
medicine.
using it for medicinal purposes, but you have no doctor that's prescribed it. I've never heard of marijuana being used
It's
for autism.
$275. It's $275 to go get a medical card. I don't have that kind of money.
You know, you would have the money if you stopped smoking weed for a bit. Then you could self-medicate your autism to your lungs' desire.
So I came down here to try to get everything done. So I actually had the money to go get the stuff that I needed to get done.
If you stop smoking marijuana, you'd have money to do your drug testing.
I'm not going to stop smoking. I'm sorry. That is my medication. That is the only thing that helps me function. I have seizures. Not going to happen. I am not going to have a seizure because I had a withdrawal from marijuana.
Seizures is a medical problem. What is your doctor prescribing for your seizures?
I'm on gabapentin for them. It's a nerve blocker.
So how does the marijuana stop you from having seizures?
Because it is a proven fact that marijuana and CBD oil, when given at a direct time for a seizure, it can stop it instantly. They give CBD oil to
and how do you
seizure
know
patients.
that? How do you
Because
know
it's
that?
happened. Because it's happened, Your Honor. I've witnessed it myself.
Your
I have
Honor,
dropped
with her
seizures.
attitude in court, I'd be willing to change my recommendation to 10 days jail and discharge her.
Why? I don't have an attitude. I'm down here working. I have a job. I have to go to work tomorrow.
You don't
I
have an
can't lose
attitude?
my job or I lose my son.
Oh, man.
What attitude do I have, Your Honor?
You just told me that you weren't going to do something when I asked you if it was medically done or not. You said
because it
the
is
only
to
thing
me.
that,
It's medically
Ms. Crow,
necessary.
Ms. Crow, just wait. You asked me why, and I tried to explain it, and you're talking over me. The only thing that you've cared about is your marijuana. The only thing that you got riled up. Ms. Crow, I'm still talking. You can't talk over me.
But I moved to get a
The
job
only
so I
thing
can
that
get
you
off
got
of fucking
fired.
probation.
Ms. Crow, stop talking.
Because you're making me look like a monster.
Ms. Crow, stop talking. I will give you an opportunity to respond in a minute. The only thing that you got fired up about when we were talking was your marijuana.
No, it
Do
wasn't.
you want to know why the judge originally, on my view, why the judge originally said you had to be drug tested? Is because the only thing that you're fired up about in life is your marijuana.
No, it's not, Your Honor. That is a bullface lie. I came down
That's
here to
my
get custody
opinion
of my
based on
child.
your actions.
I came down here to get custody of my child, who I am fighting full custody for. That is what I'm fired up over.
If custody of your child is your prime motivation, then maybe stop putting marijuana before him. Just a suggestion from someone who gets more autistic the more I smoke.
So, Ms. Crow, do you want to do all of your probation requirements, or do you want to do 10 days in jail and be done?
I will do all my probation requirements. I'm not going to jail. I have a 6-year-old child that I will lose if I go to jail. I ain't losing my son for nobody. I fought way too hard for 6 years for that boy. I'm not losing him for nobody.
Good, then give up your marijuana and do what you're supposed to do.
There's no, where can she at least send me a list of places to drug test down here? Because there's no place to drug test.
Should have thought about that before you moved down there. Yeah, she can.
Okay, so either move or live in a tent and be homeless.
Ms. Hill can assist you if she can find some drug testing places down there. She'll send you a list. I'm going to adjourn this. I'm going to adjourn today's hearing for 3 months. You will follow all. Ms. Crow, be quiet while I'm talking. You will follow all of the probation requirements in the next 3 months, or you will do 10 days in jail. Okay. So I'm going to adjourn today. I'm going to adjourn today's hearing. You got 3 months to show me what you can do. Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. No, sir. Actually, I don't.
You know what you need to do.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hill will try to find a list of places where you can drug test. You must do every drug test every community service work, everything, or we're going to have a problem. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Talk to you in 3 months.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that's the end of that hearing. I truly hope for her sake that she gets her priorities in order, if not for herself, at least for her child. Now we head to our next case, which is a follow-up to one of the videos that Hutch covered for me last week. Jeff Hodges is still trying to be as frivolous as possible, and the judge still isn't buying his bullshit.
All right, next case the court has is Jeff Hodges versus Andrew McCune. That's file 25-40756-GC. Set for a motion this afternoon. All right, if I could have the parties state their names for the record, please, starting with counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Matthew Kassar here on behalf of the defendant, Andrew McCune.
All right, and Mr. Hodges, you want to place your name on the record, please?
Hi, good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Jeff Hodges.
All right. I have a motion from counsel for summary disposition, and I have a dismissal document from Mr. Hodges asking me to dismiss the case, and then I was handed today a form that's been mostly almost blacked out, so it's unintelligible for Mr. Hodges. So I'm going to ask Mr. Hodges first, what is this document that you sent to the court or dropped off at the court today?
This shows the criminal matter has occurred by Mr. Andrew McCune and the legal counsel for interfering attempts to interfere protected activities.
Mr. Hodges, this document doesn't show me anything. It's so blacked out. I don't know if you can, I know you can't read it from there, but it is without a doubt, there's about 6 words in total that I can read, none of which have any relevance to anything. I can read the words from, subject, date, to, FOIA, exempt, and then there's a federal court statute, 31 USC 323, but it doesn't tell me what case, when, where, how, or why. So this document is absolutely useless.
I cannot tell you the details because of the federal regulations and the confidentiality requirements. But because of this matter, I'm falling under the federal statute outlined in that particular paper. And any attempt to interfere that a protected activity is violating the criminal law. And the law is cited on the title, the confidential FOIA exempt, and the word after that.
The Freedom of Information Act has absolutely nothing to do with this case or a criminal case. There might be contempt or there might be some sanctions for violating a Freedom of Information Act request, but Freedom of Information Act is simply a discovery mechanism with absolutely no connection to this case that I can see at all.
It's because of the law, how it's designed. This whole matter is FOIA exempt. And attempt to interfere.
I don't understand what you just, sir, hang on a second. I don't have any idea what you just said. This whole case is under the FOIA? That makes no sense to me. Explain that.
Because of the activity I did under the word after FOIA exempt, the 31 USC 53, as you can see, the information, as you see now, has to be redacted because of the confidentiality requirements. And
are you claiming to be a whistleblower, sir?
You are correct.
How does that have anything to do with this case?
And the counsel has tried to use irrelevant material that is a part of the investigation against me, and either intentionally or unintentionally, that constitutes the witness intimidation.
Sharing your publicly available social media posts does not constitute witness intimidation. especially in a civil suit where you are alleging that federal violations have occurred.
Do you have a court order from the federal district court that says that we can't do anything in our case?
I don't know. This is way beyond a civil court.
Says who?
Well, this is a federal criminal matter, and I don't know why someone thought it's a good idea to get involved in this whole matter and keep going after me. And I think the action by Wade Trim and the CEO is very unwise.
Sir, I don't know that this is a federal criminal matter. You sent me a piece of paper that has on it the words FOIA exempt and a statute number. I don't have any idea that this even applies to you. I don't have this document shows me absolutely nothing. So there's nothing that this paper does or has or will have in this case. It's got nothing to do with this case as far as I can tell. I don't have an order from a court that says I can't do anything today.
The Exhibit A is violating the law cited in this paper.
I don't know what Exhibit A is.
That is your document presented by your the legal counsel of your defendants. Also, the defendants' activity invoke the violation under the law cited.
All right, Mr. Kasser, do you want to respond to that?
Your Honor, I guess several things. I haven't seen the document that Mr. Hodges provided to the court today, and I'm nearly positive it makes no difference. There's no criminal matter here that I'm aware of, not involving my client, Mr. McCune. Last week, I believe Wednesday, maybe Thursday, Your Honor's clerk gave me a call and said Mr. Hodges wanted to voluntarily dismiss this case. I spoke to my client and we said we will consider that, but we would need to have the dismissal with prejudice so as to end this frivolous action. Mr. Hodges has not provided any contact information, so I wasn't able to contact him by today's hearing, so I figured we could potentially hash out the details of a dismissal today. Now, given these new, I'm not sure if they're allegations or into myself and my client, I'm not sure that my client is going to want to drop this motion, which seeks sanctions, seeks fee shifting for what we've had to do to dismiss the several cases that, by the way, Mr. Hodges has brought. Mr. McCune and previously Ms. Sheldon, who this court dismissed that case a couple weeks ago, did not bring any cases against Mr. Hodges, has not pursued any action against Mr. Hodges, terminated him for a reason, for valid performance-based reasons, and has since had to defend against frivolous actions filed by him. So that is all to say, we were open to exploring a voluntary dismissal from Mr. Hodges. I'm not sure if there's going to be additional retaliation and frivolous suits or criminal actions or anything like that. I'm not sure. I may have to talk to my client again about whether we want to continue to seek sanctions, because frankly, this is, I don't even understand what the allegations are at this point. And I'm happy to argue the motion for summary disposition today too. But, I guess I'm not sure, Your Honor. I'm not sure where to go from here because I figured today would be, trying to hash out how the voluntary dismissal is going to go, not new allegations about criminal conduct on someone's behalf. I'm not sure whose. And FOIA, I don't think is relevant in any way, but I assume that the court is aware of that as well.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Hodges, your motion for dismissal is not granted. Right on the form that's used, and it's in the statute as well, it says under Section 2C, no answer or motion has been served upon the plaintiff by the defendant as of the date of this notice. And that is absolutely wrong. Absolutely. It's, again, an example of you misusing the law. This was filed with the court July 14th, this request for dismissal. And we received from counsel the motion to dismiss at the end of June 26th. So I'm not granting your dismissal. Counsel, do you wish to argue your motion for dismissal, summary disposition?
Your Honor, if Mr. Hodges would like to discuss submitting collectively an order of dismissal with prejudice of this action, we are happy to do so. If that is not the case, because as you've mentioned, it needs to be by stipulated order at this point because there's a motion pending. If that's not the case, then yes, we're going to proceed with our motion for summary disposition. So not to kick the ball to Mr. Hodges, so to speak, but we need to understand whether he is going to agree to dismiss this case or not. And if not, we will proceed with arguing the motion and seeking sanctions.
All right, Mr. Hodges, do you wish to seek a conciliatory agreement to not prosecute? So the case will be dismissed without prejudice, or excuse me, with prejudice?
For this particular case, yes.